Right,
extra pen around by chance.
I think on the calendar. Set to go? So. We call the August 5th, 2026 select board meeting to order. We have any adjustments to the agenda?
Yes, due to recent schedule conflict, there was a request to move the discussion for the reuse of the Westover property to about 7:30 in the agenda. Okay.
Anything else? If not, I will take a motion and a second to approve the minutes of July 15th and July 29th. We can take them together.
Is it the 19th, July 19th?
No, 15th, I can't read. July 15th and July 29th.
I make the motion to approve the minutes of July 15th and July 29th.
I'll second.
Do we have any changes to the minutes or any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none then, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed, so carried.
Michael, did you vote?
No, I've got to abstain from those. I wasn't there for the 29th.
But you voted for the 15th?
Yeah.
Comments from the community?
Wait, I'm sorry, did you vote on both of them together? or you-
Yes, we did.
Oh, okay. Missed that. Okay, so thank you.
The comments from the community? The only one we have online is Michael.
Cochran, Patty Collins. And Monica.
So this is opportunity if we have any comments from the community. Hearing none then, correspondence. We received a resignation from Tim. I have a hard time pronouncing his last name, from the planning commission. And Michelle has already put something on Front Porch Forum and posted that vacancy. You know anyone who might be interested in serving on that board? Linda wanted to let us know that we received an additional $2,964.45 in highway funds. Is that was helpful?
I ask if we added that to the highway budget, is that okay? The highway department budget.
Well, it goes in receipts. It's to be used for highways. Department of Health is doing a wildlife vaccine drop. It's planned to begin on August 1st. The Lamoille, Orange, Orleans, and Washington counties as well as parts of New York and New Hampshire. The Lamoille County Planning Commission has sent along their newsletter for July, and there's a nice article in there about the wastewater system. Anyone's interested? We can wait till the end. And also, there's a nice article in the News and Citizen about the wastewater system. If anyone hasn't seen it yet. See it? Okay, we're going to move the use map for Westover property to 7th. Oh, no, we're at number 5. The gate at Zach Woods, Liberty Road, state land. So I will open it up for discussion.
Is this the motion to put in the gate?
Well, no.
Beginning of the discussion,
It's the beginning of the discussion.
Yeah.
We've invited people to figure out what the problem is, where the problem is.
Yes.
A whole,
the issue is that one, as Lurvy Road doesn't connect through as we've gone through, from the off Baldwin Brook Road. It used to go up, follow along the river, cross a bridge that hasn't been there in who knows how long, and then connect back to the Vast and Catamount. That goes up to Zach Woods West Hill Road. And then there's a giant junction, we'll call it there. At that,
where the mud puddle.
that is where that's it, exactly, that's where the mud puddle is. And at that point there, if you go, oh, thank you, man. At that point, if people are turning in on the mud puddle spot and then continue for a few feet, it's passable. And then as soon as it dips down, it gets pretty unpassable unless you're on a dirt bike or a four-wheeler. That connects then to the Catamount, which I believe puts you back out on Garfield Road, where across from, I forget the name of the road there, sort of near Patno, kind of like a Collins Pond area. From your Bike Park. I guess that would be not straight.
That comes through Zach Woods, you mean?
Well, it's all connected. It's on the other side. It's on the other side of Birch Pond. But so what's happening is people come in, and I know there was an issue with the homeless encampment. People come into that area on four-wheelers, dirt bikes, and the worst case is trucks. And they come all the way down there. And once they've come down that steep, they go through that puddle, come down. The sound, the amount of people going back there and ripping back there at 2 o'clock in the morning on dirt bikes and four-wheelers is crazy. And the sound travels right down the river to my property. If you can tell, like how it's like on that point of the V there. So once people come down to the bottom and come and meet the Baldwin Brook, they've either got to go back out on the Catamount Trail or out to where Vast put a gate in on our property. So then they come down to that gate and they're stuck. Now we've had people tear the gate out. My neighbor Gunner went down there in the middle of the night one night. I was in bed with my kid and couldn't go out there, which is usually the case. I'm in bed with my kids and people are like, and then they're screaming and yelling at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's not always 2 o'clock. Sometimes it's midnight. Sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 3 o'clock. They've been stuck back there, and that's like an all-night affair when they're stuck back there. So I had messaged the Vermont State Parks because I know they've been doing a lot of development back there and making the roads more and more passable. And more people and more traffic is back there, and the more people are back there, and the more the maps are wrong, especially like the one, if you're at Zach Woods Pond and there's a sign, the map shows Lurvy Road is a turn there. And so people look at that map and they like turn down there. And there's no way to stop them, and you know, there's no signs there at that puddle that say no, you know, no motorized vehicles. And it's pretty annoying to say the least. But really my message to the state parks was, is your intention to like open this up and make this more and more of a dirt bike and four-wheeler hotspot place? Because that's what's been happening. Or is their intention to have this quiet, peaceful, beautiful, pristine body of water that people can come camp at? Because that's what it should be, I think, personally, but that's just my opinion. Because it is a beautiful place. And so there's the puddle. Thank you for that. Looking from, it's hard to tell which way you're looking there. But is that coming?
I can show you where it is on the map if you want, the map that we just showed.
Oh, I mean, I know where the puddle is. I just can't figure out which angle that is there. But when people turn through, when people stay on the West Hill Zackwoods Road, sometimes the puddle's there, you've got to drive through it. But if you turn right or left, depending on which way you're coming from, it kind of climbs up over a little hill. We had marked it, I believe, last year, where after the puddle, it kind of comes to a tight spot. And with Vask, we had marked that this would be an ideal spot for a gate. If the state of Vermont put a gate in there, they could open into the winter for Vask. It would keep out four-wheelers and trucks, and maybe it would diffuse the dirt bikers, but probably not as much. But the dirt bikers don't get stuck back there. The dirt bikers kind of rip through and like you hear them, but then they're gone. The four-wheelers come through, especially now this whole side-by-side movement. They come back there in parties, and there's a lot of them. They scream and yell. They go late at night.
That's the area, right?
Or
is it over here? Ben?
Oh gosh, I'm having a hard time looking at this from, can you? Yeah, here we go. Okay, well,
The bottom.
so where's
You're right. Jeff.
is this showing property lines on there?
Yeah, your house is right.
Is it okay to show it?
This is your property.
Okay, yeah. So what happens is everything
Happens right
feeds down. What's the red line showing?
That's where he wrote it, just to find
Okay.
out where the track.
Yeah, so this is what should be open to roads, to motorized vehicles. And then this technically shouldn't anymore be open to motorized vehicles. It should just be a town trail as we degraded it, remember?
Yeah,
And if we could keep the traffic off here, it would be just awesome. Because they come, so this actually doesn't really do this anymore. It actually does this, and when it gets to here, doesn't show the vast trail, but it actually kind of comes along on this side of the river now. You can almost see the river. So it always stays to the west, south of the river, right about there. And man, maybe it's here, and it just doesn't cross the river. And it comes out, and they come through here, and when they're back here, they party back here. It's so loud. Like, it's loud. It's like people are like, it's crazy. And then I go back there and pick up cans and bottles, and it's a noisy nuisance.
I think he said, Jeff was saying that right in this area, there's a puddle, that mud puddle you were talking about.
Yeah, that's this corner right here.
Okay, yeah,
That's this V.
so that's.
And then right here, there's like a throat where it gets tight. And this is where there had been a whole bunch of trash for a while. People had
Yeah.
been, there was
Refrigerators.
mattresses and
refrigerators.
refrigerators and people come down in trucks down there. When they get down there in a truck, they can't get out unless they go through the Vast Trail and come out on Baldwin Brook Road. And then that's when they tore the gate out last year. Or might have been before. But I mean, they literally in front of Gunner, like they pulled a gun on him and pulled the gate out with the truck. So it stopped trucks from going through there.
Jeff was also explaining, I'm just the representative stuff.
Yeah.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, we had a great conversation, I thought.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we went out to the land together.
Oh, you did, okay.
Yeah.
He was saying that if you could get someone to fill in that hole, because these people use it for, like they like to drive through because it's cool to splash. So he was thinking if you filled it in with gravel and kind of dried it out a little bit.
Well, there's still, I mean, the V that leads the way that's not a motorized vehicle road is really obvious.
Okay.
And so here, see how you can come up this way and like this is the class 4 road if you're coming from West Hill. Or if you're coming from Zach Woods and you're coming this way. And you come to this puddle and you can't really see it, but there's another road right there. So people just turn this way and go that way. And a lot of people don't even know not to. There's nothing that says not to.
Big signage help.
Signage might help, but only insofar as, you know, people are gonna put bullet holes through and steal them.
Right.
A gate, you know, that says no motorized vehicles this, you know, past this point. Jeff had also proposed the idea of putting a campsite on the other side with a gate and like kind of diffuse it by having another Zach Woods site there. Don't know how well that would work.
Where are you proposing the gate on? Which-
Well, the gate would need to be like over here, and this V is gonna have to stay there, and you're not gonna undo it. But on the other side of the V, like up here, we marked it with 2 tags on either side. If anybody went up.
So
there,
you can,
could see
when you
the
get
tags.
there, you can either go straight or go this way.
Well, right,
You can,
the way to go, if you're going to Zach Woods from West Hill, you go that way.
you go.
And if you're coming from Zach Woods and you're going down to West Hill, and I think actually West Hill is this road.
It is.
And I don't know what it's called from Zach Woods, or
Part is West Hill.
from Garfield Road, I think. Doesn't know what the name is. But yeah, so this is West Hill. It's called Zach Woods Road, and I think right around where Zach Woods is where it switches from West Hill to Zach Woods Road. And to the right there is none of the above. Well, though it used to be, it's Lurby Road Trail. You know, so how do we make it just a trail and not a road? And keep traffic off of it. That's all, that's my hopes and wishes and dreams. To lessen the traffic and keep that spot quiet and pristine and not make it a 4-wheeler, dirt bike, truck, rowdy rage zone.
He did say the third picture. Let me bring it up. Oh, okay. He also said that the third picture, which is closest, like your property line comes up, or I mean, the road on that map from your property comes up here, and then it kind of goes this way.
If you're on the Bass Trail and you go from the gate that they put up on Baldwin Brook Road at the corner of the property. If you're at that gate and you go in, it goes in, and then there's an intersection where it goes left and connects to where your mud puddle is. It goes, and then it also goes along the river and then kind of peters out at the old, there's an old kind of an old village. Yeah. So if you follow the thing, not there, yeah, the long right, yeah. See, it goes that way, but also, oh no, there's 2 of them. The middle one, that's the one that cuts across, the longest one. If you're on that one, I believe that's the Catamount, and that comes out on Garfield Road. And there used to be a gate on that end, if you're on Garfield Road, across from Stevens Lane is what it's called.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right across from Stevens Lane, there's a little clearing, and there used to be a gate there, and that gate's gone. So people use that red line loop. I mean, that is pretty much the red lines are what everybody's using.
Yeah, I can show you the photos, but he said this area right here and this little intersection
Yeah.
is probably the noisiest area and what you're hearing.
Oh, yeah, and they party there, and that is like, that's like, right, the sound just comes right down, and it's loud, it's like,
Who owns that land? The state?
Yes, the state. As from the property, from when I looked at all the property lines, like you have the property lines on there too, see that piece. That piece is all state, Minash owns the piece that's south. I guess that would be south, the southern corner. But the road doesn't go, the old Lurvy Road trail stays on the state of Vermont property. Until it comes into our little corner.
This is like photos of that area, and he's like, that path shouldn't be there.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
That's highly used, you can just
Oh, yeah.
see that.
Oh, yeah.
Those are highly used areas, and that area that I would show.
And that's the dirt bikers, and like honestly, like it's. If you can slow the trucks and the four-wheelers down, the dirt bikers are gonna find paths and ways, but they're also less obnoxious. They're quicker, they're in and out. And how do you stop the dirt bikers? I don't know, but stopping the trucks and four-wheelers would be a big step.
And then one final point that he wanted me to share, he said that he was up there talking Monday night or Tuesday night with a family. On Moore Hill, they were camping out at Zach Woods at the campground, and they were awakened at 2 a.m. by cars and four-wheelers just racing and revving. And
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty constant, especially on weekends.
He
And
wanted
Holland.
we could get the sheriff department to get up there and patrol like the Zach Woods area a couple times.
And I've called the sheriff several times. But even in calling them, I know and they know there's nothing they can do. I call them and they're like, what do you want us to do? Can we want us to come to your house? And I'm like, no, that doesn't do anything. I just want it to be, I just want it to be,
Well, doesn't it mean more when the state calls and asks the sheriff to do something versus us? And the other thing is, didn't they buy some four-wheelers to patrol the rail trail or something? Don't they have some, the sheriff department?
Lamoille sheriff.
Yeah,
That would
they
be
don't.
great.
I mean, if they say, what can we do?
I have 30 years of experience dealing with the sheriff's department and snowmobiles and ATVs, and they don't do anything. Your best bet is state police or Fish and Wildlife.
But
You would think for the 300,000 a year that we pay them that they would take an interest in this or any of the other complaints that are brought to them.
when things happen, you can't really make a call and have anything happen because they're gone. Or, a state trooper might come, but which side do they come to? Do they come to the Garfield Road side? Do they come to the Baldwin Brook side? Do they come to the Zach Woods side? And anywhere where they come to, the riffraff, they're just gonna take off in whatever other direction they can.
We do have Jack O'Rill on the call. He's with the A&R. Jack, I don't know if you have anything to add.
Yeah, hi, thanks for inviting me. And I appreciate this conversation. I'm taking notes. I'm gonna share it with my colleagues here in the Bay Area office. What I can add, I haven't walked these trails, so I don't know it firsthand. But I can add that, yeah, this is a serious problem. All the use that that Brian you're describing, it's all unauthorized. So we don't want to see this happening. It gets difficult because part of the access is legal trail, Wolcott legal trail. So that complicates it a bit. And of course, there's a couple of different trail types. But the main thing I can add is we in no way want to see this happening. It's illegal. It's illegal use of the trails, and I see this as a good step. I know Brian has been in touch with a few other FPR staff, and John Meadows couldn't make it here tonight. I know Brian has gone out with John, and John couldn't make it here tonight, but I'm going to talk to him and share all these notes with him. So the main thing I can add is this is illegal use, it's unauthorized, and we want to help stop it.
And then Brian, do you have, and this is Brian, president, chair of the,
I'm the president of the Clayton Track Back, which is the snowmobile club.
Oh.
in Eden.
And I will say, the snowmobile people are totally respectful. I've never had an issue with snow, once in a while, this is late night, but that's like, again.
Yeah, I mean, you know. It sounds like if it's appropriate, you know, trying to block the traffic, a gate. Something that
We
can,
had talked about rocks, but then that makes it so you got, it makes it too difficult for the snowmobile association.
I don't think we go there where you're talking about.
Yeah. The Vastra runs up that red line right off Baldwin Brook. Through the corner of our property, that's why there's a gate there that Vast put up with Ryan Gillespie and another gentleman, I can't remember his name. We're a part of. So right where it cuts in off the corner of our property, off Baldwin Brook, they Vast put a gate up there. Yeah, is that the triangle there? We're looking at the Cohen triangle, yeah. Yeah, so right where that red line is, it's the red line, the driveway, I can't tell. Wherever the Bass Trail enters, yeah. So right there's a gate. And they come down to the gate, obviously, and then either turn around or party and throw their cans and then turn around. It doesn't cross. It's hard to quite tell exactly what it's doing based with the white line kind of throws it off. Because the double white line is the road formerly known as Lurvy Road, which is still Lurvy Road Town Trail.
Right here.
Yeah, yeah. But it actually, see there, that's where it doesn't exist anymore. Where it comes off the point of Baldwin Brook, put that finger all the way down to Baldwin Brook Road. That's the beginning of Lurvy Road Trail. And then when it gets to the double line, right there, that's where there's no road anymore. There's hardly a trail even. That's basically the back of the property. Not even quite. It ends just before that, But I don't know what the double line is. Is that just because there's a river there and so it's
No, the river's over here.
It's the properties.
yeah, it's a parcel map.
oh, I see. So what is what's the property that's in between the white line?
Town.
The town, oh, I see, that's the town's right away because as it's still a trail, they're still right away. I got you. Yep.
I'm still kind of confused.
What are you confused about?
About where, I mean,
That's the only way to access the road is through the gate on Baldwin Brook. Or from the puddle. Or from across from Stevens Lane off Garfield Road. Which is right near Collins Pond. Collins Pond? Collins Pond?
Collins, it's a little further up.
Yeah, like 100, 200 feet or so.
It's even up the steep incline, flat now, then you can.
But it's just about right across from Stevens Lane. Like I said, there was a gate there years ago. Because I used to walk that and come out to that gate. And if I walk the trail and don't go left up the hill towards Zach Woods and stay on that trail along the Baldwin Brook, there's like an old settlement, I guess you'd call it, foundations. And they rip back there. I mean, they rip all around there. They've got all kinds of new trails now they've been making and
Basically, they're tearing up state property.
yeah.
Sounds like state for that board there to take care.
Second,
West Hill where you're looking at it.
west of it.
And then right there, I believe at that intersection is where it switches. Or it could be at the town lot, wherever the town line
This
is.
is, that-
Exactly,
and then this is the Lurvy Road.
correct.
Good.
But it does not cross the river anymore. I mean, the town access does.
The river looks like it's here. Like, right here is the outlet.
Yeah.
And into this notch here.
Yeah, and there's quite a gorge up there too. If you've never walked up there.
Can I add something here? From FPR's perspective, wherever there's a situation like this, we prefer to have a gate. We almost always have a gate where you have a town road that's either class 3 or class 4, and then you have a vast trail off of it. And it's my understanding that off of West Hill Road, when you get onto the vast trail from there, yeah, so that I understand that's the mud hole. That I think would be the obvious spot to put a gate. You already have one at that other road. But in order to put a gate there, I believe the town would have to approve it because it's also a legal trail.
Correct.
There is a gate here, right?
Yes. And we had marked that spot that was ideal for the gate there where the road goes right where your finger is pointing roughly.
Yeah.
A little to the left by, I can't tell the scale, but yeah, roughly right in there. There are 2 tags on the either side where we marked it with fast. I forget the gentleman's name though.
So is there a recommended type of fence to put up that will hold them?
We put up, I've seen one up in this area. We put up large steel gates that have a steel I-beam welded to either post below ground. That's our standard gate. That's what we put in most places, and that holds up it's held up to mud trucks and all the rest. So our standard gate, we don't have that. We don't have plans for this right now. But that's something that it's routine for us to put in or for vast clubs to buy and install. So we can handle the spec and the diagrams of the type of gate that we need to go in. And we could talk to the vast club to see if they have funds to do that this year or next. But the select board would need to approve that.
I think that would slow a lot of the traffic.
The only ones that's really gonna not be deterred are the motorbikes, dirt bikes. Those are the only ones because they'll get around it.
They'll
But
fund.
then who's to say they don't cut it back? Someone goes up there with a chainsaw and just goes to.
And they go up there with chainsaws. I hear them.
Jeff's understanding, and Jeff Holmes, who drove the property, created that map, and works with Brian, had said that you're
Jeff.
not,
Gentlemen.
yeah.
Thank you.
He had said that you're not gonna stop everybody, but he felt that a gate at that particular area may at least, and possibly signage, but then we also talked about people shooting at signs, because they shoot on Gulf Road, they're gonna certainly, it's just gonna be target practice, but, yeah, he felt that might be a case.
So if the select board approves putting a gate on our trail, you're suggesting Fish and Wildlife, A&R's suggesting that we ask VAST to pay for it?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, we don't have plans to do this year, so I don't know where the funding would come from. But this is something that is common practice for us to approve gates like that. So I would need to talk to John Meadows and talk to Parks to to get their approval as well. But we have a normal procedure for gating off a road like that. But like you're all saying, it's not guaranteed to work right away. It's usually a process of stopping this kind of use. But we wouldn't even look into starting the process of gating that if the town were opposed to it.
Did you want to say something, Ray?
No, I mean, I know how those gates are expensive.
That's what I figured.
They're nearly $8,000 with installation cost. We just put 2 of them on that trail on south of the Zach Woods Trail, where we put in a new trail 7 or 8 years ago.
Is that?
Where the water hole.
I know where you mean, where it's like almost a campsite spot, and there's a new gate there, because there's some new sites and there's some new parties up there. I saw.
And we had to put two gates in there. So they are expensive. I mean, it's
So you could possibly put it into your next year's budget.
So Jack, are you able to put it into your next year's budget or?
Oh, I can't authorize that. I can talk to the team, and as we make the plan, start that process. And if we know that the select board is in favor of gating that section of road, I can start that process and talk to the right people of beginning that project, finding the funds and making sure that it's going to work.
I mean, I'm personally in favor of gating it, but the way I see it, it's a problem increased by the state park being there, and it's on state land. It really would be helpful to have some state funds to at least offset some of the costs.
Well, if it takes the motion,
Yeah, so the question of,
yeah, make a motion to be in favor of it. I think that's simple enough, right?
yeah,
So I make a motion that where the town of Wolcott select board is in favor of gating Larrabee Road at West Hill. There's that.
we have a second.
I'll second.
We have any more discussion on that? Hearing none, then all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. So we'll be in our minutes that the select board isn't in favor of gating the Larrabee Road Trail off West Hill.
In the short term, do we have any money for another one of those no motorized vehicle signs like what's on the Baldwin Brook Larrabee Road intersection that we could stick up there and hope that they can read?
Put it on paper, laminate it and stick it in the board. Spend a lot of money.
For as much good as it's going to do, we could try it.
we have signs available.
Yeah.
In wax. I can make sure we get signs.
Can we like circle back after you get to talk to your colleagues, you know, maybe in a month? On how that went, so we know.
Yeah, and it would need to be maybe in a couple of months by the time we look at all the different steps. So August, couple of months from now, that we should have a plan in place.
Okay,
I'll reach out to you then, Jack, in a couple months.
Great. Okay. Thank you.
You.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you.
thank you. Anything more on this subject?
I appreciate they're doing this.
Right.
I can look into an emergency grant, you know, for some money.
Are you able to install the modernized vehicle sign as well?
Oh, yes, yeah, I mean, that's, yeah, we can,
That would be
we
great.
can, I'll get some signs ordered if we don't already have some. In a few days, and either Jeff or I will get out there.
And is there a way to fix mine?
I'm sorry.
Is there a way to fix mine, even to stand it back up? They've got a number on mine. The one on the corner of of my driveway on Irving Road. It's like, it's pretty far out. They stole the Lurvy Road sign. They stole it. But we had, but that's a different conversation. If there's no more need of me, I'm gonna.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. I appreciate you all being here and doing that. Positive. I didn't expect anything to happen today or tomorrow, but that was very positive.
It's not a beaver issue.
No, they're not there this year.
Really, I know where they move.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, you know, you can. You have it all, and I'll look into, see what we can do. Thanks.
They have a lot of Giardia. They have a lot of Giardia.
Oh, you took the tail off from your fish.
So Jim's here to talk about coin drops.
September 5th and 6th.
Weekend?
That's a Friday, Saturday. Or no, Saturday, Sunday.
It isn't. Okay, so that must be Labor Day week.
Yes.
Okay.
So we need to have a motion to allow the fire department to hold a coin drop because they have to send that letter to the state.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So carried.
I'm not next, too slow.
Yeah. And Jim is also asking for the use of excavator on weekends to install 3 dry hydrants for the fire department. Can I explain that?
So, there's a hydrant we've lost on Burke Road for the construction site. And there's a spot on, right by Tamarack Road. We used to have a hydrant there, but the flood of 95 took it out. And the flood of 23 made a hole again. So, but last night I discovered that the riprap is too big for the machine to move it. So we're gonna need something bigger there. But this hydrant in the village has been out of service since the fire that we had up on Town Hill. They put in sand fill there, and the fire truck got buried to the axles. So I was seeing if I could use a dump truck and a bucket loader on my time off on a Friday to bring in like some steam mat to bring the hydrant back into service.
Which one is that? Is it on fire?
Right by Bruce Wheeler's.
Yeah, that was always soft in there.
Yeah, and it's even worse now. And we could use the fire department fuel. Just need permission for the dump truck and the bucket over.
Does that cause any insurance problems? Can anyone see?
He said, as long as you're driving it, he's legitimate license to drive it. I mean, he's insured to drive it. I don't think it's an issue if it's off hours. Because in emergencies,
It's still town work.
Yeah. Checking.
Protecting the town.
Yeah.
So if no one's opposed.
So I'll make a motion that we allow Jim to use the dump truck and bucket loader,
Yeah.
with fire department fuel.
And we're gonna pay for this thing, Matt. That's not on our town.
To move the material that the fire department is providing.
From the coin drop.
To bring the fire hydrant by Bruce Wheelers back into service.
I'll second.
Right here on the corner of School Street and Route
Yeah.
15.
Oh, his new.
Yeah, there's a hydrant.
Yep, yeah.
There's a hydrant right out back there.
Down to the bank there.
Yeah.
That's his new house.
Right.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? No, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
Thank you.
So just that one for now.
That one for now, yeah.
Things going good?
Yeah. Busy up on Gates Farm Road, doing ditching. It's gonna be nice when it cools down, so. Thank you all,
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
and see you on the barbecue. August,
August 28th
yeah,
at a little before 5 if you can, because we'll start eating at 5. So go on the grill maybe 4:30 if you're available.
yeah. Thank you.
Thank you a lot. Take care. See you soon.
Select board reports, admin reports.
Okay, it's a long one again. So, the Morristown sent us the EMS, and I think Linda sent it out to everybody. They sent us, an EMS service agreement. They want to start charging, Wolcott for their EMS services, which probably is fair. We do pay Hardwood Rescue. However, I was just looking over the contract agreement and it didn't, I couldn't connect with it. It was stating that they want to charge us $15,000 a year for the between 125 and 150 residents. So I wrote to Brent asking him, just saying, based on the 2020 census population count for Wolcott, we have 1,670 residents. If you subtract the 130 residents that Morristown would serve, then that leaves us with 1,540 residents that Hardwick Rescue serves. We pay $21,912 has been allocated to pay Hardwick Rescue for this fiscal year, which comes out to about $14.23 per resident. Per the proposed agreement with Morristown, we would pay $115.38 per resident. So that didn't jive with me. So I asked Brent, I've not yet heard. So I raised that question. And then acknowledged that Hardwick Rescue is composed of volunteers, which does help reduce their costs. But the way the agreement was written, it doesn't really account for any discussion of the variance in the per person pricing. It just says, hey, you know, they charge you $22,000 a year. We're only going to charge you $15,000. And it doesn't account for the reasons for that. And I just wanted the justification for the huge difference. And I wanted to see the percentages as they broke out per town, because Hardwick Rescue provides per town percentages or amounts that we pay. And I would like to see that same approach from Morristown. It's not just me. I mean, that's just what I asked for before we have this agreement. I think it would not be put in place I would assume it's a budget cycle, but they wanted to start talks. Anyway, I'll keep you posted.
Plus, I just noticed, I mean, they're saying that we only contribute 18,700 for dispatch. Did they break it out? Cause don't we pay 40,000 for dispatch?
Pretty sure we do.
That 18 was,
Is that just?
was our approval in the budget.
Right.
So we need to bring that back up
Oh, yeah.
and tell them that,
Yeah.
that we may.
Yeah.
That was just, error. Nice thinking.
Yeah, it's a little hard.
So Lawrencetown covers 123 residents, is that?
We covered the Elmore side of Wolcott.
Okay, so where I live. So,
We cover Jader and Richard Wolcott and a Pixie, Wayne.
you know, with the RPO then, Wayne Road, Brookview, okay, so a little bit of,
Right in this.
I'll work on
I think just a tiny bit.
it.
They cover as far as the Christian Farm Road.
Oh, so pretty much the whole ridge, the whole top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about as far as they go.
It lists the number of households on there.
I think.
Well, one other thing is that the transport distance to the hospital is a lot less from.
Well, I called the Hardwick Rescue also, but I left the message and sent an email, and have not heard, but I was wondering why. Like, are they is there a hospital, is there a reason that we are divided like that? I just don't understand, and Belinda didn't know why the town is divided by two different rescue services. Is it because
It was kind of agreement between the two of them, and it was years and years ago.
It was
And-
to stop down on mileage,
Huh?
to cut down on mileage. By the time Hardwick would get up by the Crocheting turn, Morseville was quicker. That's all it was.
okay. Is.
Yeah, because they have to come all the way from Hardwick. That's what, 8 miles?
8 miles,
They
And then-
cover a lot of towns, Hardwick does.
Yeah.
but they got 2 rescue.
Okay.
But I mean, the distance, so Morristown to get up there is probably, I don't know, yeah, 4
Well,
miles.
plus they're paid, and so the volunteer would take longer to get there, I would assume.
No,
No?
they stay there. I mean, Jim Roberts is a volunteer, and on his day, he sits there all day when he is volunteering.
Okay, well, those are.
Because they can't wait.
Yeah, that's more than 8
When
miles.
someone's having a heart
From
attack.
Hardwick Rescue to that part of Wolcott.
Oh, sure. Because by the time you get up the pond road, you're talking 3 more miles, and then you gotta go all the way through Wolcott.
So,
That's
yeah,
why
I
it was.
think the
surprising.
divide makes a lot of sense, honestly.
Huh?
I think that dividing area makes a lot of
Right, but
sense.
not what they're charging is.
Yeah, no,
steep.
I'm really, Michelle, that's really sharp. No, that's
I'll let you know, I don't, it's gonna happen too quickly because this is not an urgent discussion.
It says and they're recommending it for beginning in the fiscal year 2027 budget, so it's something we would need to be aware of when we make our budget.
I think that's why they're starting the discussion now, start budgeting for, well, I'll continue the discussion with Brent or with their EMS person who wrote this up. As Linda said, I advertised for the planning commission board member today. I can wait for another 10 days or as long as it takes, but if anyone has anyone in mind, that would be great to get get that board filled.
Do they have to be a Wolcott resident?
I know, because I put on the thing that they do.
Morristown has Wolcott residents. There's a
Okay,
percentage that you can't have though. You only can have a percentage of.
Non-resident.
town.
but, okay, so the people on the board now are all Wolcott residents, right?
Yes.
so we could have enough. I'll have to check that out. It's not.
Not that we're favorable about it.
Yeah, and not that I think there's a high motivation for people out of town to get involved, but.
There were two people from Wolcott on it at one time in Morristown, but they were on it over the breweries and the water charges, so there was a reason they were on it.
Oh, okay, it was political. Purposeful. This came in for the forest, this came from Luke Hart with the Forest Road request for proposals. They did the pre-bid meeting and the bid evaluations discussed. Luke said that there were questions about evaluation number 4, which was the cost of the bids does not exceed current project budget. And he said since the contractors were not privy to the budget, it was requested then by the contractors that the item number 4 be changed to the bid amount is commensurate with work. I think it's I don't know if it's too late to make that change now, but I just wanted to run it by the board. It's not a change I'm authorized to make.
Well, have you started scoring them yet?
We haven't even received them yet. We just had the pre-bid meeting. I do have.
No, not as long as every single one of them gets noticed. And that would be a change, not to the contract, but.
To the bid requests, the proposals. I can change
And
that.
it is kind of weird.
Well, we don't ever give out the price of the maximum price.
Well, that's what I told Luke, but I think he kind of misunderstood. What I was saying, I mean, you shouldn't be scoring it. So if you look at LCPC, Megan has one and they just word the same question differently. I'll have to get it. I don't know what it is. Something about was the bid within the grant. I can work with you on
Okay, let me know because time is ticking, but I can get that out tomorrow or this weekend, even send it out to the 4. It was a mandatory pre-bid meeting, so I have their emails. Okay, perfect. I want to talk to the board about awarding the railing contract for the rail trail. Michael installed, Parity Construction installed the ramp. It looks great. There was a bit of confusion about whether it even needed a rail. But on one side, the ramp is held up by rocks, and I just feel like there should be a railing there. We do have it in the budget because we came in well under budget because we did most of the work out there ourselves. So there is money to fund the $3,200 for one railing installed along the area of the ramp that's closest to the foundation. And then the other side of the ramp is so gently rolling that if you fall, you're just gonna roll. You're just gonna roll down and hit dirt, So it doesn't need to be an actual 2-sided railing because the trail is so wide or the ramp is so wide and it will go up to the corner of the foundation.
There's not a lot of danger of a wheelchair per se to roll down that side of that ramp.
Don't think so. But take a peek. But I've looked at it with so many people who are like, I don't even think you need a railing here.
Are there specific ADA guidelines?
But not for this kind of earthen ramp. I mean, it's a weird situation that if you look at the ramp that they installed at Fisher Bridge, I was questioning the rail trail people about that all the time. I'm like, there are no railings here. And you're probably, even if you don't call it an ADA ramp, I mean, there are no railings. And so I had the rail trail guy, Chris, came out and looked at it. And he's like, I wouldn't put in a railing there. And a lot of people have said no, but I just feel like we have the money and we're claiming it's ADA, let's put in at least that one railing.
You need us to do
I
anything
think I need a motion to award that.
to award, what are we awarding?
Just the contract to put in that railing to,
LVRT grant ADA hand rail award to
it's right there in front of you.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, yeah, sorry.
Unbroken LLC. The amount of $3,203. Make that motion.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Okay.
Opposed? So carried.
I'm gonna abstain from that one again because of my involvement in it.
Okay, thanks, Michael. All right, I really want to write the passive grant, which would get new cones and reflective t-shirts and Wi-Fi smoke alarms for the highway department. And I also wanted to include the security cameras, but seriously, I need someone to tell me exactly what to order. And I need to do that soon before they run out of money. So can someone get that to me by Monday?
I think so.
Okay, just tell me exactly what to order.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Look for it.
Thank you. I met with, the state's attorney, Elena Gerhardt requested to, or sent out an email and said, she'd love to meet with the select board if you have any issues or concerns you'd all like to cover with her. I can set something up if you all have.
Was she the one that, she came here before?
Yeah, she came and talked about the dog
Yes.
cruelty,
Yeah.
animal cruelty issues.
So,
And she and a couple other people were successful at the state level to get some, I think changing animal cruelty laws and then get some more funding, I believe, for the state vet. So if you guys have any ideas, if the board has any ideas, just send them to me and I can set it up with her. It'd be nice just to have her here anyway. It keeps her close. We received $250 from MSI for the Wolcott Community Barbecue. So those were the two grants or the two requests this came to us. Wolcott, MSI and Union Bank. I had mailed them an acknowledgement letter. As far as the MERP grant, I had over the summer, I've been phoning and emailing 8 companies in total, which are Fred's, Warrens County Plumbing and Oil, Perfect Temp, Stone Ridge, BND Plumbing and Heating, Enlisted HVAC, and then Lloyd's. I'm hoping to get bids to install the new propane boiler. We've received 3 bids and I'm waiting on 3 more. I do know that Fred is not taking new clients and Lloyd's was going to charge us for an estimate. So those 2 are out. I'd like to I think we're going to have $28,000 remaining in the MERP grants to put toward this purchase. If our tax credits that we are filing are approved. So we'll have $28,000. I think that would be adequate to both install the Bournes line. Bournes would need to come out and put in a line right now from the propane tank to the building, because right now we have oil. That bid was to do that line with 30, what was it? Like 1,300, 1,500, something like that. Michael, do you remember? That was 1,300.
Yeah, it was right around there.
Okay, I am meeting on the 16th with Bournes again to talk about moving that propane tank. And the generator, because that area is gonna be necessary to be open when they start working on the schoolhouse. So we gotta figure out another location, and then that bid may change. So there's that money, and then, we would do our own trenching, and I think that I am thinking that most of these bids are gonna come in around 20 grand or whatever. So I think there's gonna be adequate money to do this conversion. I am still working with our CPA to file Belinda and I, to file the energy tax rebate, which is 30% of the 28,500 for solar credits. So it's a rebate of 8,550. We had to reinitiate something online to get a new number, and we're waiting to get that new number, and then Ron can file that for us. The work at 696 Oscar Woods House on North Wolcott Road, that roadside embankment support is scheduled to be completed next Monday. There was just a break with Dylan being gone, but that road is continuing to erode. So we've got it scheduled to be worked on. Both of those little embankment erosion areas are going to be worked on. I put out a notice on Front Porch Forum.
What are you gonna do?
They're gonna rip wrap it. Right up there, you don't need, it's not touching the water, so we don't need for.
It won't just roll down the hill.
I think they're gonna support it, they've got a plan, I think they've got a plan. Also, the FEMA 2024 flood, the disaster relief 4810 disaster recovery. The East Hill Road culvert replacement begins next Wednesday. That's the one that we awarded for $90-some thousand like the last meeting. Begins Wednesday, the 12th. I have notified the Sheriff's Department and the public via Front Porch Forum and the website, letting people know that the road will be closed up to 2 weeks, like 15 days at that point. Between, I think it's 514 and up to Young Road, but Mike Green will have access to get out. So people can just detour using Marsh Road. I also prepared the request for proposals for engineering designs for the culvert on Marsh Road, which is culvert 5-25. And Town Hill Road culvert 9-6. The bid opens on tomorrow, and it closes, I think, toward the end of the month. We gave it 3 weeks, so we could get a fair coverage. Kurt, I wanted to remind you that the water rate is due at the next meeting, 8/19. If you've had a meeting yet. And then I sent you all a very long list of the issue. Kurt and I went out and met with Landfair at 4740 North Wolcott Road to discuss the 3 ordinance violations. He said that he is removing the vehicles there in the kids' vehicles. He does not have to remove the pull-along campers because they're not in violation of any of the ordinances. I think that's correct. He's also going to
register.
I'm not sure, but I don't know that they have to be because they don't have a motorized vehicle. They're not a motorized vehicle.
They have to be registered to be on the road and inspected because of the size.
But they don't, because they're non-motorized, I don't think they fall under the jurisdiction of this.
Oh, it's like, hook it on.
Yeah, it's a pull. He obviously said he will resolve the right of way violation. Neither of those, I drive past it twice a day. I've not seen any improvement. And this was a week, we went out there a week ago Monday, right? So a week and a half ago. It's up to the board. He has had the letter. I brought it to him again. He's aware of the timeline that's
Did
passed.
you give him a deadline?
We'd already given him a deadline.
Oh.
So he said that he was gonna start getting it out last weekend. I've driven by and there's no change. So I don't know, it's up to the board if you want us to start issuing violation for that. The right of way is kind of pretty iffy. I'd have to go out there and actually measure with the tape, measuring tape. The third issue was the encroachment onto town land, and I sent you all that big loan. I did the research into whatever I could find as far as the meeting minutes. And I would try to get him here. He said that he signed the lease. That is not true. I could not find a lease that he actually signed. He said he would be willing to come and talk to the select board about it. I think if you look through the history of him promising to come to talk to the select board, it's not been happening. This was just dropped off. And I think the town just got tired of it because they stopped caring about it back in 2018. It just stopped appearing on the agenda or in the meeting minutes.
Well, you know, whatever a previous select board does, a current select board can undo. And that the previous select board might not have been aware of FEMA regulations. And they really can't be signing a lease with them.
Yeah, that lease, if it was signed, there was discussion to sign a lease. And then it said, Belinda prepared a lease between the town and Curtis Land Fair on 6/4/2014. She read the lease during the meeting. There was a discussion and it said Belinda will contact David Hello, to review for the liability purposes. And then very next meeting on July 30th, Belinda explained to land fears when they came in that per the advice of the town's lawyer, the steer and be removed from the property and that lease be terminated. I can only assume that that lease wasn't even signed, or if it was, that it had been terminated. So there's no lease. And he was asked to remove all of his animals from the property, but we know that has not.
Now, we can allow grazing if we ask permission, but we can't have a house on there for them.
I don't know if that house is actually on our land. It gets real fuzzy over there to understand the property boundaries. And I'm thinking if we bring this before, Tim Sargent said he can take it on in September. He can't take on anything new until then. I don't feel comfortable talking about encroachment until we actually have a survey, and I don't think he would advise it as well. I just don't know how far we're gonna get unless we actually pay to have that line surveyed. That's why I'm thinking this issue is not just to go out and make and move it. I think we can deal with the vehicles because we have an ordinance, but I don't.
He's also had his father's farming equipment put on the property.
Yeah, it's there. And he's like, it's just there temporarily. I'll move it if you want. And then he's got his garden up there.
Well, I think we should at least send him a notice right away that, you know, he's in violation of encroaching on town property and FEMA has regulations. So if it comes back on us, in the meantime.
Can you send me the exact FEMA regulations?
Well, I'll have to look at the deed. On every deed, it tells them there's restrictions and it's supposed to be kept open and clear. But I'll help you look up the deed. I forget whose property was that. Was that Evelyn Perry's?
I think so, that sounds familiar.
Huh?
That sounds familiar.
Like the hitch along fifth wheel trailer. That's gotta be registered and inspected every year to be on the road, and it's been there for 10 years plus.
But
So,
that can't be, I think, as he was
but it's
saying.
encroaching on,
Oh,
even
yeah, that
property.
is, yeah. We
That's
think,
why it's gotta be moved.
that's, we think, and he's planted a garden onto the, definitely onto
And,
that
and
property.
put sheet metal fencing up.
To keep his animals out of it, and he said, that's not he said, that's not in violation of FEMA because it's like, it's seasonal.
The problem there is his father, or whoever lived in that house, was married to, was he married to Evelyn?
Hmm.
And then they broke up and then she put another house next door. And I don't know if it was his land at that time or not.
No,
No, it was a separate lot. Yeah.
In
All of
any
it.
event, I do think we should probably see if we can find a surveyor to establish that line because, you know, we're gonna need to do that. And as far as the camper thing goes, I'll have to look at the ordinance, but does it specifically say that it has to be a motorized vehicle, or does it just say vehicle? Because under the state of
Pretty
Vermont's laws, you know, the camper, you know, Kurt's right, the camper is technically a vehicle with or without a motor, unless our ordinance lists motorized vehicles specifically.
I think it does. I will have to look that up, but I'm pretty sure it does. And he was quoting from that ordinance that I gave him, a copy of the ordinance, and he said, I don't need to move these based on your ordinance. It says it's only applies to motorized. So I need to look that up again. I don't remember.
Yeah, and I know we have his certification, you know, he has said that nobody is using the facilities in those campers and nobody's living in them or anything, but we really should probably get either Mike Green back out there or a state officer of some kind to make sure that they're not just dumping wastewater on the ground that close to the river. And as far as the bull goes, maybe that's something that we could discuss with the AGO or whoever when she comes in, making sure that that bull is healthy and well cared for and has adequate food, water, shelter.
Mike Green is called on that bull probably 5 times a year. And every time he goes out, as was with Bernard, they both said that the bull is fine. It's old. But they look on, it has water, it has food, and it is tethered, but the tether is close enough to shelter.
Which would mean that that shelter is built on assumed town land.
That I can't prove. Again, I think we should just survey that one boundary line. I don't think you need to survey the whole thing, but that one boundary line between the two properties.
So should we make a motion to go ahead and authorize that? I don't know where we'll pay for it, but
you're gonna be talking at least spring before someone will go and do the survey.
how about the longer we wait, the longer we can't resolve this. And he does need a letter to get that farm equipment off there.
I'll make the motion that we have that boundary line surveyed to proceed with that.
For a second,
I'll second.
I'll wait till Dylan comes back. We're voting on authorizing Michelle to have that boundary line survey.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
I can send them another letter basically saying, and we'll look at that with the deed and then just start that in process. And then if you want, I can ask the lawyer to start looking at what can we do to that properly. I don't, we, based on the other two properties that are in violation, there's nothing we can do with 277 Flatiron, in my opinion, because it's not in probate, it is owned by a deceased person. And the person who lives there, her son, I mean, who do we go after? I can't issue a violation to a deceased person. So we either I need to contact the lawyer to figure out how I go about doing that. Or we have to wait. It's still not even listed in probate.
It won't be.
I think
How
the
can a
daughter-
property, how can a property be owned by somebody who's dead? I mean, who do we send the tax bill to? How are the taxes paid?
It goes, I think it's not a trust, but it goes, it's the trust of Ms. Primo.
Well, same as, Art, is that his name? Art. His grandparents' land is there. It still has not been resolved in probate since I was town clerk in '86. I mean, that further building is still in Olive and whatever's name. And then I don't know what his name was, I forgot. Their son paid it for a while and probably the kids pay it now.
Robert Tenney.
Robert Tenney paid it and then
Now it's up to Bert.
Bert and Karen to pay it.
Yeah, there's got to be a mechanism to force that through probate somehow, in all of those cases.
Well, if that property you said it's owned by the trust,
No,
It's the, what's the word? By Ms. Primo, I can pull it up.
no, it's not.
The
It's up in the
estate,
list.
it's the estate,
Yeah, and it shouldn't say the estate of because it's not in an estate.
it does say it though.
Yeah, it shouldn't say that. It should. It's only the listers. It should only be in an estate if it is in an estate.
I think it's time to get a lawyer involved with it because you have a deceased person and its property is not claimed and it's in violation. So that means we should have the right to take it.
And he would be a squatter.
This I don't know, so I would talk to Tim Sargent. He's agreed to take us on in September if you guys want me to.
Right. It's gonna be resolved.
Yeah,
It looks like he's added another one.
There were 8, I'm not sure now.
Well, now he's got this SUV up on blocks and all the wheels off and all this other stuff done to it. So
Well, and
It's
even
like-
outside of the junk ordinance, these things really need to be dealt with. You know, we are in a reappraisal. I'm sure we're going to find a bunch of these properties that don't match the owners or whatever. We really need to know the mechanism to try and get the paperwork caught up with reality.
so we voted on the,
Yes. To hire a survey of that boundary, and then I will contact a lawyer regarding 277. Does the board want me to just issue now? When I was taking the violations course, we don't technically have to warn anybody before we issue a violation if they are indeed in violation. I tried sending the certified letter, both the certified letter for both 277 and Tallman's place on Wolcott came back unaccepted and unopened. So should I just issue Tallman a violation, or are we going to go there and talk to him?
how does the rest of the board feel?
I think
is that the Flatiron?
maybe getting a better understanding from Tim when you hire him, what we legally can do. Instead of spinning our wheels.
I would agree.
I mean, we're wasting our time, we're wasting our money. And he can tell us, he might say you just need to take them to court, I don't know.
Okay. Well, let's start with violations. But I don't know if Kurt, if you wanted to go with me to talk to Tallman or. I mean, I can stop by there on my way home too.
No, you better.
I do know that when he goes to this transfer station, Belinda could serve him. That's it's an option. That's all I have.
Okay,
Patty's been on the line. Oh,
Yeah. So it's not, we don't have Tori yet. So why don't we move to the appointment of Patty Collins to the Wolcott Sewer Commission? I went and talked with Patty and gave her a copy of the bylaws to review to see if she might be interested in. She said yes. So I'd like to make a motion to appoint Patty Collins to the Wolcott Sewer Commission. Did you have anything you wanted to say, Patty? I guess not. You can take the poll.
Patty, if you're trying to talk to us, you're muted.
Patty is sending text messages. She said that her dogs are barking, so she's not hearing everything you're saying.
Okay, I think
If
I'm
you look-
unmuted now.
Yep.
Am I unmuted now?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, sorry. I was muting earlier because, well, anybody that drives by my house will know that my dogs bark at everything. I'm very well protected. So, yes, I would love to participate with the town and the sewer commission and help things move forward in Wolcott. I've lived here for years now, and I don't plan on going anywhere else. So why not? Why not help the town that I've grown to love? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. So I made the motion to appoint you to the Wolcott Sewer Commission. Need a second.
I'll second.
And do we have any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So carried.
Just let me know when the meetings are and I'll show up. And I'm sorry, my camera is not currently working on my computer right now. I'm not sure what the issue is. It's getting a little old. It's probably time to replace it.
I need to find one more member and then the commission will meet and we will let you know. But thank you very much for volunteering.
Yep. Lived here a while. I love this town, so I'm happy to participate.
Good.
I'm not going anywhere. I got a mortgage to pay and 2 dogs that, as you just heard, are very loud and none of the neighbors really complain. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to sign off now before I say something really stupid. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Patty.
Yep.
I see we have Tori here, so we can come back to the reuse map for the Westover property. And you have a copy in front of you. Tori, you're on.
Okay. Sorry I'm late.
No, it's perfectly on time.
So just a brief recap. Last year there was a site walk and a planning meeting open to the public that folks attended and shared ideas on future reuse goals of the Westover buyout property in the village. some additional outreach and coordination happened at last year's community barbecue, in coordination with the Wolcott Community Trust about folks' ideas and visions for reusing this property. And then earlier this spring in 2026, I had met with the select board just to discuss the ideas that came up and some of the common themes that are on the first page of that dot board and what could be worked into the overall site plan for the property. There was a list of prioritized uses that came up in the spring that on the second page of the packet you have the site plan was updated in the format of something that could be submitted to Vermont Emergency Management as a part of a reuse application, like what Kurt did for the gardens. So on page 2, you can see the updated site plan that has some of those prioritized uses people were interested in seeing, including the approved gardens on the bottom of the page, some trails that loop through the property and could potentially connect to the new schoolhouse parking lot, as well as the LVRT and the river. The box in red in the middle where the house used to be was the proposed area for either a standing or mobile stage. There was a mobile stage on trailer idea that had come up earlier this spring, so that is the proposed place for where that could go. The Wolcott Planning Commission was interested in seeing some signs and like an entry sign on either end of the property where folks could connect in from School Street or the LVRT. So the updated site plan is what you see on page 2 of the packet. Page 3 is a visual of what the entry into the park could look like, with the prototype sign design as like an entry sign to the park. There could be some on-street parking along School Street, as well as some simple banners hung on the utility poles leading down into the village towards the river.
I
Yep.
contacted Hardwick Electric and they're not sure, but they're gonna get back to me regarding the banners.
Okay.
They're actually called flags because banners are like temporary that are strung between
Okay.
two poles. So they're just calling them flags.
Okay. Good to know. And then the fourth page of the packet just as a kind of like prototype visual of what the entry could look like coming off the LVRT onto the property, with that sign as well. So I guess I'll stop there to see what reactions you might have and if the updates really made on the second page capture everything you were hoping to see, and if there's anything that's missing or what your thoughts are on the plans for different components of developing the next steps of this park.
We have the realtor grant coming up with the possibility of getting credit up to $7,500. That would be available in January, but we would be writing for it in October. Meeting with the realtor to start writing for it, and they would cover. I think Tori, they cover connections. They cover. I'm just looking for the grant right now. They cover signage. Here it is. Level 2 grants. They cover playgrounds, pocket parks, parklets, pedestrian plazas, community gardens, public gardens, dog parks, downtown gathering spots, and alley activations. And then they also have I think we would go for the level 2 grant award, which is $7,500. They do like grants that allow the realtors to come out and work together to create the site to help build the work themselves as well. And Tori, you said that there's the art community challenge grant coming up.
Yep, the AARP Community Challenge grant accepts applications over the winter. Last year's application was due by March, so between the Realtors grant, which sounds like from your conversations with Michelle is likely to be awarded, and then this AARP Community Challenge grant, there could be some pretty easy small projects that get implemented when the property is no longer be a staging area for a bridge project. In terms of the entry signage, some paths and you know, small improvements in terms of bridges and river access. If this is the right direction that the town's hoping to go in.
I guess we're just looking for next steps. Or do we want to start approving this because we have to start moving on grants by like September, October? Do we want to prioritize? So we can meet again, but I think we're looking at prioritization and approval, right, Tori?
Yeah, if there was, priorities within this proposed site plan that the select board was interested in seeing moving forward, we'd be happy to start getting the funding to make it happen.
It'd be a good idea to start with maybe when the bridge is done, start with paths and the signage over that way.
That's what I was thinking too, would be the entry sign and the walking path.
Everything else you can kind of put as the next stage after all that.
So there'd probably be more money left. The ADA compatible entry from LVRT, would we have to get permission from them for that?
We would, I had reached out to Jackie Casino and she was open to checking out the proposed connection as a part of the like closeout to the trailhead improvement project. But we would need their sign off.
You haven't heard from her? I didn't hear the end.
Oh, we would need their approval.
I thought that we would coordinate that visit along when Jack comes up to approve the final, the work that we've been doing at the trailhead. Didn't we say that, Tori, that she would then maybe just take a look?
Yep.
Kind of pitch this idea to her then. I don't think, and Tori can confirm, but we didn't think that the paddler's launch was going to take a lot of money, if any. The signs, we did get quotes on signs. I think they were a couple of thousand to get 2 wooden signs. 2,000. There's an entry sign on School Street and an entry sign near that ADA compatible bridge. There is, Tori, do you want to talk about that footbridge?
Yeah, I wonder what that was about.
So there's the path that is mown and maintained around the property could connect over to the like backside of the future parking lot for the schoolhouse. But there is that ditch there that Linda, I think you had said was previously installed just to help with.
All right,
Drainage.
Roy, Right.
So just to like have a crossing, I guess.
keep the field dry.
There'd be a lot of brush to cut too. That's all grown in.
Yeah, I think we should think about maintaining that, before it gets out of hand.
I'm sorry.
We should think about maintaining that before it gets out of hand, get all overgrown.
Maintaining what though?
Those
The ditch
fields.
is that area, because it's starting to grow up with alders.
Is that where the community garden is?
Next to it, between the. Where you're gonna put parking lot in for the new library.
When all that brush.
In the back there.
There are paths, because I was back there was paths, but we'll just walk it with me because then.
Yeah, the last time I went in there were so many ticks on me.
So we could open it up or like completely, or, we can walk it and
Yeah.
then you can let me know what you want. That would be, money we would, figure out how to pay for that.
I really like, I don't know, it's not part of the thing, but it's part of the walkable area. I like the sign for the sugar maker. And I really like painting the road where the rail trail crosses there on School Street.
Yeah,
Yep.
Because,
Starting on page 5 was the information on the sugary lines, which was a new proposal, not something previously discussed, but it's even in like a couple instances of me standing along the rail trail there, people have asked me what those lines are. So it could be an interesting educational opportunity.
yeah, I like that.
if we go back in there, Kurt was mentioning, we're gonna have to pull some lines down, so if we start making this more used or walkable. Do we know where the sugar maker is gonna reinstall the lines?
No, because we haven't passed that. Yeah.
So that would be a consideration.
Yeah, I was thinking further in down towards where the house site was on that point.
Where
It'd be high enough. Right now, he has it crossing here going where you're gonna propose to have this parking lot for the new library. And if you're gonna put the library parking there, the line's gonna have to go.
Well, how about I just reach out to him, he's really nice, and set up a date that maybe we can walk. I think he's a construction, doesn't he do construction in the summer?
Yeah, he said it back in April, if anything had to be moved, he didn't mind doing it.
Put that on my to-do list, so I don't forget.
Another question I had was what the select board's thoughts were on parking and access to the property. There's no designated on-site parking currently on the site plans on page 2. It could be on street or connect to the trailhead and town office parking. But I guess, is there any interest in having like a designated parking area on site?
I think it's important if FEMA will allow it, because we're just so tight here. The rail trail. It would really be nice to even alleviate some of it from over here.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
agree with that.
would it be possible across from where the sugar maker has his tank to put in another parking area of 6 vehicles? I mean, it wouldn't take much more than brush hogging and leveling it out.
I think we need to look at something.
But that would make it so you're not congested here. It'd be back of that cafe,
They'd open it up some more.
right?
Um, would the on-street parking depicted on page 3 work for you? Or would you want it off the road more?
You know, for me, I would have to see when the bridge is done and how close. And then you've got that property so close to the driveway that's not owned by us.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks great on paper. I would have to see it when the bridge is done to comment.
I'd almost wonder, what's his name? Up here that owns that property.
Yeah, he's gonna build on there.
Oh, Kurt,
No, not Kurt.
No.
Builder.
Contractor.
Brian.
He might have something to say because there was a driveway parking area there and if you park vehicles there,
I
they're
mean, I don't
not.
think he'll like that. He is gonna be building a home, but right now he's renting the space to CCS. He hooked up for wastewater. I mean, not a home for him to live in. I don't, maybe his daughter.
is that the one where the little garage is sitting? Right next to us, so, okay. That was Kurt, the guy who gets back pictures here all the time.
No, that's,
No, he's north.
that's the one for,
Kurt Hamill up in
Yeah.
North Wolcott.
I just had one question, Tori. I've had this incident where by the town garage, bikers just go right out and while you're driving through. Who has the right of way? The biker or the traffic?
There are stop signs on either side of the trail. Bikers are supposed to stop. But it is kind of a confusing intersection because the trail, if you scroll to the flip to the last page of the document, you can see how the trail in the picture on the bottom right looks like it goes straight over to the trail bridge and how bikers would continue sailing on their way over the road, but for ADA and accessibility reasons, there's supposed to be like a turn and they're supposed to turn a little bit to stop and then continue across the trail. So it's not super clear. And Kate Lally with LCPC has offers some suggestions on how communicating to folks on the road and on the trail that there's an intersection here and where the crossing should go could be coordinated with V-Trans too.
Well, I like painting the road. That green there
And
makes you think.
that makes sense. And also, V-Trans should probably put stop signs on there because a bunch of other spots on the rail trail, they have stop signs on either side. Danny's
But they're
got
so
those.
tiny, they're
Yeah.
tiny.
Yeah, they're just a little.
I would miss them if I was talking to my friend or looking at nature, they're so little.
And there's nothing on the pond road.
What's that?
There's nothing telling bikers or hikers or whatever, they don't have the right of way. So if you come turn that corner, like some of these people do through town, they're gonna mow someone over.
Oh, you mean the drivers, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the trail The rail trail, Tori, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. The rail trail doesn't, it's not crosswalks wherever it crosses roads. Right, there are some that are, but it's not by default a crosswalk, right?
No, no.
I mean, the Adelman Hardwick, two crosswalks
Yeah.
designated, it's painted white with the stripes.
Yeah. And that's what Tori's proposing here, painted green. Cross, and then that would give it pedestrian right of way, which as of, I think it was last year. A bicyclist is now considered a pedestrian in a crosswalk, like they don't have to dismount. So, but they do need to stop. So, but like where the rail trail crosses Route 15 out by Fisher Bridge, like that's not a crosswalk. Like the expectation can't be.
State road, so we have jurisdiction over it. We don't.
Right.
Same one is in Morrisville. I never know. Some people stop, you know, when you come
That one
back.
is a hashed, the one on Brooklyn Street.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one's a hashed crosswalk.
But the one,
but they don't always stop. Sometimes they do,
Right.
sometimes they don't.
And that one has stop signs on the rail trail. So just come back and over
to the
time.
bridge crossing, which there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's no painting. I think they got stop signs for the people to stop.
Yeah, I thought there were stop signs on Elmore Pond Road on the trail. So,
Just for the snowmobilers further up.
You think there should be any kind of lighting in there? Are there any like poles around there?
Um,
Just throwing it out, not that we have to do it, check it out.
Part of
For the-
let add lights to poles. So we added them over by the town hall.
I just wondered if there was any poles around
Oh, where are you talking then? Over by?
It's not by the garage.
the garden, the garden area.
Okay.
The people are gonna drive in there and park. Nice.
um,
I'll check it out, just a thought.
was
How
the,
about, how about solar light worst case?
Doesn't work. Winter,
were you, I'm sorry if I couldn't quite hear if you meant lighting on the park or at the LVRT crossing?
The park,
Okay,
we talked about maybe having a parking area.
yeah,
If so, people go in there at night, I would like it lit up.
yeah.
there is a post.
Is there? I don't know, just came to my mind. I'll have to go and look.
No, there is a post as you start going down through, just when you get straight in line with the sugar makers operation.
Yeah, over here. I mean, yeah, I was thinking of over here, if we made a parking area over there.
Oh, by West Suburbs?
Yeah.
I mean, close to the old house.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, there's none over there.
do you think you have enough information?
Yeah. Just some revisions to page 2 in terms of having a more designated on-site parking area and what VEM and FEMA will accept in terms of parking on site,
Right.
and possibly also incorporating the educational pull-off around maple sugaring.
Mhm.
And
Is there
then,
anything that we could make that look a little prettier or like a little more interesting with the sugar maker
They're
maybe?
gonna lease it, you mean his building?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
area.
why don't we talk to them when it's, when
And
they're
then
hot flower pots?
and then when we do when we organize the final site visit with V-Trans, in addition to looking at the new trailhead improvements, we might visit the ADA access to the park and also this intersection to see what might be possible.
Okay,
Um,
wonderful.
Okay.
Do you have any comments, Michael?
I don't. I think that everything drawn here is great, and I'm excited to see what we can get started on depending on funding.
Okay, thanks, Tori. We're gonna move on to, appointment of Jackie Furler to Library Trustee Board. Received a letter from Chair of the Library Trustees. They have voted and approved Jackie to be their 5th trustee because it was an open position. She was a former trustee in the past. Seeing as no one was elected at a town meeting, we need to appoint her, someone. It's your wish.
You put blueberry in your nose and no. Oh, such a house. That means you don't hear about it. I have to make a motion.
But it does.
I'll make the
You want to go?
Yeah, that's fair. Kirk will make a motion.
All right.
I'll
We have a
second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of appointing Jackie Fur to the Library Trustee Board, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so carried. Community barbecue volunteers to set up tents and canopies, grills, cleanup.
Just looking for volunteers, especially for tents. I do everything. That's all I do.
You don't do everything, don't lie.
Well, I do some stuff, but I can't. I wrecked my back last year doing that.
I should be able to come between bus runs.
I'll show up again.
Bus routes? You're back in the bus business?
It's not on the record.
So you can help set up.
Well, it depends.
Between like 9 and 1.
Okay,
That's perfect.
Yeah, I'll be around too.
It'll help you with the lighter duties.
I get to sweep the parking lot and set everything up and.
Mike, we got to be able to find a rotary broom somewhere. What do you think? Instead of hands.
It's been on my list of things to acquire. I'll see what I can do.
Acquire it soon.
I think Valley Wolcott's gonna be there, if not, we don't need this week. I just have to get it confirmed. Everything else though is coming together. We're not really spending that much money. The library is covering the band and they're covering all the like the hot dog, what they normally cover. We're gonna have face painting for the kids and the band and the balloon guy.
Steve Schnapp.
Thank you. The clown. I just call it balloon guy. That's what we're gonna have for entertainment. The food's coming together. So. I think we're set. So I've got Parody and Patrick and Billings. Are you coming as well?
Tom will come, I'm sure.
Show up about 3.
To help with the canopy, just.
I did last time.
Slackers, but having to work in the middle of the day.
I get jobs from you.
I don't know.
Okay, can we move on to the Champlain oil property donation?
Yes. I just found out today that, well, we found the lawyer, Tim Sargent, wants to know if the town would like to request a title search. He just told me today that it's gonna cost around $1,000, but it would likely be less if there isn't much to the search, and he thinks that the search would be fairly simple, given that it has had one owner that has been in place for a very long time. So, I think, didn't you say you should get?
Well, my recommendation is to have a title search because to do diligent for our citizens in case there is a problem, you don't want to take it on. You know, if we find something in there, and it's good to know, you know, if we do a park and ride or whatever we do with that area, it's good to know what kind of, there's any right of ways or someone has mineral rights somewhere. We need to know all that.
Yeah, especially if there's mineral rights and they can start digging.
I just threw it out, but you know, we need a clean title to take it over, so there's no unexpected expense for our taxpayers.
I mean, they've owned it since I was. It's been 50 years or more they've owned it, but still.
Well, didn't, Don Lowell's brother own it and then it burned down?
He did. I thought the town had a garage there and they tore it down. That was.
He told me that it
20s.
burned down.
That was in the 20s. They had a town garage there for a while.
Well, the town garage was up here and then there was a regular garage. Anyway, I'd like to make sure all the brownfield stuff and everything, all the stuff they filed with the state is all in order. So if it's only $1,000.
Or less, likely less. And that would come out of the miscellaneous.
Well, no, it would come out of the,
Oh, the capital fees before. Capital fund.
no, it would come out of the reserve money that we were gonna use to buy it.
Isn't that in the capital fund now?
No, it's in the fund balance. What's it called?
We need a motion, or can we just order it?
How's everyone else feeling?
Didn't we do a motion on that last?
Assigned fund balance, in the assigned fund balance.
I don't think we have, patches.
Okay. Well, let's do one.
You being silly?
No.
I was calling him, I call you all by your last names, because that's how I tell you.
So I'll make a motion that we have Tim Sargent do a title search on the property that we are in process of acquiring from Champlain Oil. Is that right? Funded from the assigned fund balance for up to $1,000.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Any other business before the board? Motion to adjourn.
You're making it or you're entertaining one? Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Mike, you separate.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry, so sorry. We have an update, the LCPC received the CDBG dash DR.
Well, they got a congressional district spending. right?
Yeah.
Per million.
And Wolcott is part of it, that Wolcott received a 30% design for the Wolcott Fire and Highway Facility relocation. They would like to meet with the select board in its own special meeting. They're available, Seth and Melissa are available the first Wednesday of the month between September through December, but they can meet other dates and times as well. So if you all want me to.
The first what?
Wednesday.
First Wednesday of the month from September through December, or other dates and times as well.
That's our regular select board meeting.
Yeah, so you could meet at the select board meeting, it would just be a long meeting.
Or you could ask them about the second Wednesday, unless you all need that Wednesday.
I think it should be separate because look at this meeting. 8 o'clock, 2 hours.
We've had marathons till 9.
I know, we will too again, but
But what's that?
I think it'll be a longer discussion than an hour, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see what I can work out.
Second Wednesday in September. I like having one Wednesday a month off.
Second Wednesday in September.
Yeah.
See what I can set up.
Is that the night?
It is. Oh, September has 5 Wednesdays though.
That means we'll have a big break.
Or we could do what we did last time. Which is. July had 5 Wednesdays also, and we used that one up for a special. Like board meeting. And then the board, it's the board.
I can't do the 9th, but it's up to the board.
30th.
You can't do the 9th. How about,
I
how
don't think
about
I
in
can do
October, you
the
guys?
30th.
Or what about September 30th, the
I can't be there.
well, the two most important things.
I mean, I don't have to be there.
Yeah.
But if you guys wanted notes,
No. Wait, it was.
how about October?
Second Wednesday, okay.
Does that give you all time to kind of talk about it? We could actually have a pre-meeting in one of your select board meetings. just to
Yeah,
kind of
we
discuss
could.
it.
That's a good idea. What's the second one?
14th.
Yeah,
I will set it up.
If they can.
Help me email you all. Okay, sorry about that. You're not done.
all those in favor of adjourning? I post. Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, thank you. Hope Ellie's feeling better.